9 years ago, my youngest daughter got married, and her wedding was in Boston. And my wife and I went to Boston for the wedding. And I called the Veterans for Peace chapter in Boston and asked if they had a place that I could stay so I wouldn't have to spend money at a hotel. And I stayed with the president of the Boston chapter. When I was walking around his house looking at all the stuff he had from the stuff that they did, I saw these peace poetry books, and I picked one up and I started reading it, and they were just great. Poems by little kids. I thought, wow, what a great idea. We could do this in Gainesville.
Open your eyes, why don't you?
It's just really important that the idea of peace be spread. And in the schools, the teachers are the way to do that. They get their kids to write the poems, and more importantly, they have to talk about it. So in the schools, we have a discussion about peace.
Peace is in my heart. Peace is everyone's part. Don't be mean, keep it clean, because that's called bullying. You have peace in you, you might just not know it. You have to go within, it's called kindness.
I remember being a third grader and having things to say, and so I try to give them an opportunity to express themselves.
Peace is like a beautiful sunset on a warm summer night. Peace is like the pages to my book of life. Peace is like a never-ending trail of happiness. Peace is like a tired bird sleeping in its nest. Peace is like a mysterious measure of kindness. Kindness is peace. Peace has a very deep heart. We could be the start of peace if we all play our part.
We break them up into categories of age groups and grades.
In my world, I don't get called names. I am not ignored, but it's not my world. End of third period, walking to lunch. I bump into someone. Sorry, excuse me, I say. They call me the N-word. What? I think. This is what I mean when I say it's not my world. Lunchtime, eating my sandwich, chatting with my friends. I look up rather quickly, but a second too long, at some kids who are black, like me. Oreo, one of them says. I look down, but I'm thinking, what? Like I said, it's not my world. As I walk in the empty hallway after school, I pass a girl. I wave and smile. She calls me the B word. I say something, but as I walk away, I think, what? Not my world. Walking into first period, I see a good friend. I wave. She sees me and looks away. I sit down next to her and say hi. She sees me and ignores me. What? Not my world. Not my world at all. First period, same time, same place. I sit next to a boy who has his own group of friends. However, on this particular day, he says hello. And I say, hello. I was mad and annoyed because of my friend who ignored me. Apparently, he noticed. He asked me if I was okay. While I did tell him I was fine, what he doesn't know is that he brightened my day, and he put a ray of sunshine on my dark horizon. Sixth period, I walk over to someone I consider my best friend and greet her happily. I had a tiring day and was happy to see her. I say hi happily. She says bye in a serious, cold manner. Out of shock, I turned away. I almost started crying as I thought, what? If it was my world, people would see each other for who they are. No name-calling, no ignorance, no opinions without justification. But it's not my world.
If not giving peace for my broken heart, do it for my beloveds, they do not know. What it is, they cannot understand, or shall they be forced by another hand? Condemned to conflict, learning the terror of what men can do, oh how I've learned. I do not want them to have to see it become their turn. They deserve so much more than what I have received. I will do my best to shield them from hate, but the price of peace just seems all too great. I fear I can't give my family a happy life. I fear my kids will grow up nasty and filled with spite. Resentful, always seeing what could have been. Angry at the world, angry at what never happened. Angry at the system, angry at this place of sin. Always being bullied and hit, not an eyeball flinched. Is this their standard? Is this the norm? Stuck in their lives, a never-ending storm. It is these worries I scorn and think about. How I sit sleepless at night, wanting to scream and shout. Instead just shedding tears, thinking about the unpeaceful years. Asking God to spare my loved ones. This world has a handful of issues. I fear it will take away from my beloveds what it took away from me, my ability to be happy. My dad, being a veteran, I just felt like it was important for me to do. He's been deployed overseas and stuff like that, so it's kind of an important subject to me.
Through poetry and through my students' voices, perhaps they can make a difference and people will be able to hear that they are intelligent and they are articulate and they do have very valid points that should be heard.
This is the fourth year of the Veterans for Peace College Scholarship Program. It came into existence because so many of us military veterans who were in the chapter and Veterans for Peace, going to college for us, I mean, especially for people like me, was just not a reality coming out of high school. No one tells a lot of us, especially if we grew up in military backgrounds, no one tells us about college. We don't have the proper economic resources. Maybe our parents didn't go to college. So the idea behind the Peace Scholarship is really to put our money where our values are, and to say that if you're willing to make a commitment to peace and nonviolence, we would like to help get you to college. So we see it as a really nice connection to the Peace, actually the Peace Poetry program. We're hoping that eventually some of the Peace Poetry winners will actually apply to the Peace Scholarship program.
The Peace Poetry Contest is a very useful opportunity in the classroom to talk about social justice and to get the kids to connect to not just current events, but also to learn about historical events of the past, to get them to investigate their roots and heritage.
I am a Muslim, at least that's what I tell myself. Yet when I hear the slew of hateful words that come out of your mouth, Musti, Raghead, Osama, you make me feel nothing bigger than an ant. Every time I step out of the door, I am suffocated by the pollution that is religious prejudice. Your lack of understanding is heartbreaking. A peace departs with every word you speak. No longer do I want to wake up to horrific headlines. Instead, I want to arise to a world of inclusivity where our political citizens are accepting of the residents they harbor. No longer will I tolerate the hatred because I am a Muslim.
Oh Lord, this world is something else. The horrible events that have taken place are just hard to bear. My elected officials sit in White Houses and I honestly don't know if they truly care. Lady Justice is blindfolded, but I need her to see beyond my brown skin and the value of the real me. Don't even get me started on school shootings where the taking of lives become ironic. Columbine, Sandy Hook, and Parkland, flying bullets and bloody bodies have become embedded in America's fabric. It's chronic and an awful sin. I want justice. As tears roll down my cheeks onto my neck, I can only think about the innocent souls in that effect. My generation is falling apart, destroying hearts. Sadly, it seems like it's only the start. With parents crying themselves to sleep at night, to them it doesn't seem like real life. The government says that they've got their back and everything is okay, yet turn on them and the first sign is betrayal. I hear a whisper, a voice of the past. It says, listen, my children. Your justice has been hidden. The police are supposed to serve and protect. Just because I live in the hood doesn't mean I'm a suspect. We look up to them as our heroes and our savior. They show us different through their behavior. All races have been through the police brutality thing, but Martin didn't march so we could give up on his dream. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Trayvon Martin, Alton Sterling, Justin Damon. These are the crosses that we have come to bear. Society pains break my heart. But that doesn't mean I'm giving up. The fight for righteousness is not over. It's just the start. I just want to let children hear what I have to say about leading and guiding children, smaller and even adults. I just want them to know that this society can get better if only we step in with our voices.
I've grown tired of asking for peace. Let me get that off my chest. It just seems like nobody can fulfill my request. I'm tired of living in a world where hate always trumps love. I've turned to God, praying, asking for answers from up above. I just have to tell you, I only want what's best for my country. Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? Being an American in America, where they say dreams do come true? So why don't we all step back and dream of something we want to happen? My peers and I want peace, so why can't that be granted? You know what? I forgot. My opinion is invalid. For starters, I'm a child. I'm black. I'm a woman. Don't you forget about that. I can be mean, sometimes obscene, a loudmouth at best. Yet I'm a firm believer we need peace now, and I won't stop until it all works out. So I apologize that this poem may seem angry. I've just grown weary from all the waiting. Oh, how I wish for peace, for us to all get along, a time of love, a time of ease. It's time for peace. I pray I live to see this all come true, because right now it seems like we'll never pull through. Right now, I have the courage to take a stand. Hopefully we'll achieve peace hand in hand.
Peace is about being calm, not judging other people, being kind and nice, no war, not hurting anyone, and be loving and willing to do anything. Equal rights everywhere for everyone. That's what peace is. Peace is love.
Do you know what peace is? I do. Peace can be one of your hobbies. Peace is no war. Sometimes it can be nature, like a bird singing a great note. Peace is quiet and calm. Being loud is not peace. Peace is like a laughter of kind little children at the playground. That's peace.
I think getting things out creates peace. When we house things and we hold things in and they grow and they grow and they boil over, we create anger issues. When my children write poetry, you can see what's pouring onto the page. Each of my students wrote 10 original poems, and they chose 2 to recite. And what comes out of these 6th graders will just absolutely amaze you.
What if the man was given less than the woman? A war of anger and shouts would break out. What is happening in the present as the woman is given less than the man? A silent, painful war inside of the woman, dying to break free. What if heterosexuals were treated with as much malevolence as the homosexuals and the transgenders and the other colors of the rainbow? The entire world would be angry. And what happens now as that rainbow is turning black and wilted with objection from others? Nothing. Silence. And what happens when the young women are treated with hesitation and not as much expectation as the young men? The young woman fires up in vexation and blows up. And if any of this war, malevolence, or hesitation breaks a person, does anyone bother to hear? Or is it just background noise in a sea of complaints from the men, the homophobic, or the boys? And if a man sexually harasses a woman and the woman tells someone 100 moments after, does anyone bother to listen? Or do they just say, well, why didn't you say something sooner? And would the woman bother to respond with, it was frightening, and I was a young girl, and he was an old man? And if she did, would it just get lost in the bottomless ocean of yammers and clamors, like every other cry, from the woman given less than the man, or the homosexual with a bounty of wilting pride, or the woman being treated with vacillation? Or would it be heard and start a movement greater than any before, so that all the women and the people drenched in rainbows of honor and amusement, and the young women, the futures of this generation, get what they want? Or would it only solve one of many unequal issues in this world?
Peace is like a golden bird. Peace is like a perfect heart. Peace comes from being nice. Peace comes from your heart. Peace is being loving. Peace is being faithful. Peace is showing that you care. Peace is being kind and fair.
Peace is like calm waves on the ocean, very magical indeed. Peace is love, laughter, kindness. No war, fight, or inequality. Rather, treating people how you want to be treated. It's about helping people you don't know. Peace is feeling safe, and that's how our world should be.
It is really important to start the conversation about these topics because, especially in schools, because if we're looking for a solution to these different topics, it's really good to start with the young people because those are the people who are going to lead the charge. Our society has claimed to evolve, yet still glorifies conflict. With violence, there is no true resolve. We are not perfect. We should have one common goal instilled in our core, to make peace the standard, not a bar we reach for. Instead of arming our people with weapons of destruction, violence, cruelty, and hatred, let us be armed with tools for construction to achieve the peace we have long awaited. United, we can end the world's strife. Hatred shall have no place. Compassion must be a way of life. This is the purpose of our human race.
You heard their poems. You understand they do have something meaningful to say about peace in this world. They understand it.
Then the poems all come to us.
Taking care of people will be an honorable mission.
We look through the poems and pull out poems that we think are good.
I like that one, Scott.
And you like it better than the honorable mentions?
And then we have people from the University of Florida who look at the poems and pull out poems.
This is something that's a very personal expression situated in the poet's life.
Black. I can't be racist. A white cop killed a black man. Someone has died today. You don't know him. I don't know him. This needs to stop, and it starts with you and me and everyone else in the world. Every single one of us can make a difference.
I remember standing up to them. No more sorrow, no more pain. Bam! I remember it hit me, his fist like a stone.
So much of what these kids had to say has an amazing impact, and it has there's a bigger platform for it.
And then when we have poems that are decided upon for the different age categories, we publish a book with those poems, and we have a reading at the Unitarian Fellowship where we invite the winners to come to the reading. Those winners get a check, a plaque for their wall. They get a copy of the book with their poem in it, and they get to get up on stage and read their poem and get recognized. A lot of people come to the readings. School board members come, the teachers come. It's a fun event.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Suraj. I want to start off by saying that it's encouraging in this community, one community, right, in the middle of North Central Florida, that there is such a plurality of diverse, open, emotional, honest expression across all of our age groups with all of our students. And what we have here today, I think we should all come together and really celebrating and encouraging these poets to share their heart.
Peace is amazing, peace is grand. Peace is when you can walk hand in hand. Peace means no fighting, peace means no war. Peace is the rich sharing food with the poor. We're all the same deep under our skin, so open your heart and just let love in. Everyone deserves justice, peace means to be fair. Peace means equality, so there.
Thank you, Evie. All right, everyone, let's give a very big round of applause through our 1st through 3rd grade poets. And cats.
Hope is a boat that you struggle to stay on. Hate is the hurricane that tries to throw you off. Revenge is the thunder, lightning, and waves that threaten to overturn you. But peace is the sun after a bad storm. Friendship is something that we all struggle to juggle out of fear that we'll be called names for our color and other. If peace was a treasure, gold is not all worth hoping for. Betrayal is a dark sea drowning too many people with peace in their hearts, but peace does not drown. If only peace, justice, freedom, and race. If only we had hope. If only we had peace for the world.
Thank you, Karen. How about a round of applause for our 4th and 5th grade poets?
Temples toss seeds of soul. Give me rest from doubt and fear. Sun, find my face. Light, find my heart. Song, find my story. Be at peace, be at peace. For my life is finite, and these storms have raged too long, even winter.
Thank you, Michael. All right, folks, let's keep the applause going for our 6th grade poets.
If I were a painter, I'd paint a highway on the sky, so all the lost souls in this world could have a place to fly, to find their way to the other side. I'd paint a highway on the sky. If I were a painter, I'd paint a river on the stone, so all the pain the mountains felt could flow out of their bones, for all the sorrow left unknown. I would paint a river on the stone. No, no. If I were a painter, I'd paint a lighthouse on the night, so all the shipwrecked sailors could look up and see the light, to give their restless nights a dream and their hopeless eyes a light. I'd paint a lighthouse on the night. If I were a painter, I'd paint a candle on my soul, a bright light to hold on to when the loveless night got cold, to fill this feeble heart with fire, to warm these aching bones. I'd paint a candle on my soul. Oh no. If I paint the walls around the fear. And with one simple brushstroke, I would paint away your tears. I'd paint the courage to fall back on and faith to last the years. I'd paint the walls around the fear. If I were a painter, my love, I'd paint away the pain, your loss, your hopeless longing, and the teardrops and the rain. And when this world left black marks on your heart, I'd paint away the stain. If I were a painter, I'd paint away the pain. I am not a painter, and this canvas in my soul is washed clean every moment by the rain and by the cold. And any brushstrokes in this heart are painted ice, they're made of coal. And all the candles in this world can't bring fire to my soul. And all the sunlight of today can't wash away tomorrow's rain. I can't paint away your fear, I can't paint away your pain. No.
This is the 4th annual Gainesville Veterans for Peace Scholarship Program. We're so honored to be part of this community, to have so much support. And our scholarship, the Peace Scholarship, is especially inspirational. You're going to get introduced to 4 outstanding, brilliant, hardworking students today who also have a vision for peace and social justice. So let me announce our first recipient, Jamari Bryant. Currently a student at Santa Fe College, where he serves as the Student Government Programming Branch Events Chair, where he's responsible for creating events on campus to help increase student involvement and civic engagement in the community. Our next college scholarship recipient, Ryan Robinson, is currently a senior at St. Francis Catholic Academy. Ryan is active in student government and a leader in encouraging his fellow students to engage in community service projects. Our next recipient is Taisha Sensil. Get this, she is a triple major in political science, African American studies, and criminology at the University of Florida. Our final recipient this year is a military veteran, London or Don Balsita. He is a member of Veterans for Peace and the Sierra Club. Don also engages in anti-racist education through cultural learning. Don writes, quote, "Racism is alive and well, and by immersing people in culture through art, it helps people see Latinx people as brothers and sisters rather than outsiders." Since this is a program and a scholarship where we raise money for, if you feel moved in your heart to contribute, we really invite you to come out for our winter solstice. That's our main fundraising event where we raise the funds for the scholarship to support the Peace Poetry Program and other progressive causes in Gainesville. And we can't do the work we do without your help, so thank you.
Peace can touch our hearts, but violence can make us fall apart. In the midst of the darkness of this place lie people of every race. They all love and care, so don't cover them up with all the hatred and scare. Peace is like an enjoyable time, but violence is like an everlasting climb. Peace brings hope to every life, but violence can cause strife. When you think in your mind above, know that you will see love. Peace is a place that is calm and quiet. It does not cause a riot. A peaceful place is a world agreeing, that of which I am not seeing. A peaceful place starts with a small action, and it can cause a chain reaction.
Thank you, Cormac. And folks, how about another round of applause? 7th grade poets.
Someone has died today. You don't know him, I don't know him. But someone knew and loved him. He had a family, a wife and children. He had a funeral, people mourned for him. It was a sad day for everyone, a tough loss. He died in a fight, a battle, one that might never be won. Thousands of others have died too, in that same war, on that same battlefield. Men destroy other men, every day, every hour, every minute, right now. People kill people, we kill each other, but for what reason? Why must this happen? Religion, nationalism, revenge. These are only a few causes of wars, but they are not a good enough reason. Not good enough for the thousands or millions of lives being lost. Not good enough for the families to be ripped apart. So remember, we are all connected, all of us. This needs to stop, and it starts with you and me and everyone else in this world. Every single one of us can make a difference with kindness, love, hope, and peace.
Thank you, Emily. And a round of applause for our 8th grade poets.
Tearful eyes as we turn on the news, streets are filled with first responding crews. The first responders first on the scene, only to hear terrified children's screams. 18 shootings, and it's not even May. Yet another student killed today. Backpacks fill the hall left behind. On this day, everyone wishes to press rewind. Friends and families all filled with strife, and yet another teacher gave their life. On this day, we must unite to stop the hate and win this fight. Our hearts are breaking, lives are shattered, and yet no change, but our lives still matter.
Thank you, Lauren.
They hate when we break the silence with our demands spouted between tears. Our simple request is to lessen gun violence and not witness bullets pierce our peers. They say we're reacting off of feeling, thinking with the heart, not head. But just because it's not their lives guns are stealing doesn't mean the kids aren't dead. It shouldn't be hard to connect the dots. Assault rifles can be purchased just by a stroll to the store. This can't be fixed with prayers and thoughts. We need to ban these weapons of war. They only see the number, not each life. Each scholar, athlete, daughter, and son. It would have been harder with a knife, and yet we're told to respect the laws of a gun. I have family over in Norway. They asked if I was scared to get shot. It was 3 years ago, and I said, no way, I'm safe in my country, so I thought. Have you heard about Lori, whose daughter is dead? She coats herself in Alyssa's body spray and lies covered in blankets in Alyssa's bed, and so far has cried 10 pounds away. I'll show you logic, and I'll put down my tissue. They think mental illness should be our biggest fear. Well, mental illness is a global issue. These mass shootings happen uniquely here. In the middle of class, an alarm sounding or the jiggling of the knob to the door leaves everyone's heart pounding. Wanting change isn't something we'll apologize for. To speak or to remain silent, that's your choice, but it's not the time for self-doubt. Your opinions are valid, so use your voice, and soon we'll all vote them out.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you. A not so gentle reminder that peace is possible in our time and through our hands.
It's a very fun event watching those kids up on the stage. They're very nervous and they read their poems. I love this event.
We all believed in what you could be. We thought we were wise, we thought we could see. The lies you told sounded so true. If only we knew, oh, if only we knew. Now all I can see is stained in red from the blood we spilled and the people who